What's going on, y'all, man? Leave my computer acting crazy. I ain't get home till about 1:15. Been wrestling with this computer. But y'all, we're gonna talk about protecting our babies, solutions to protecting our babies while they're in school or while they getting care about at school. Um I had a couple solutions to that problem that we're having in these school systems. Um, and y'all let me know what y'all think with that situation. Me personally, I don't know if anybody ever rode the school bus, but it's kind of like, and y'all, I'm so sorry, I'm so freaking late. It's ridiculous. Fooling, playing around with this computer, trying to get it to work. So if you was in here early, I do apologize. My computer was acting crazy. Problems after problems, as they say. Um, but some solutions I believe we could go is um, one particular window in the classroom. If you've ever been on school buses, we're gonna talk solutions. And my big solution is the playing like your sleep role. I think people have caught on to that in the schools, so I believe that in itself, um, that kind of has to go out the door when it comes to telling our children when it's mass shootings to play like you're asleep. I believe you should, and I don't know if my notifications went off. Probably didn't. YouTube been acting crazy lately, but the playing like you sleep role doesn't work anymore, if you ask me, in these mass shootings. So I came up with the idea of maybe school systems putting a like the school bus, that back door where you only can open it from the inside, just in case the school bus crash or something. You put that little lever on the window and you kick it out, and then if there's a mass shooting, the kids are able to get out that window, or put it on two windows in the classroom. If you're not on the first floor, I believe you should do like if you're familiar with people remodeling or redoing buildings or painting buildings, they have a little tube that they slide stuff down into. I believe we should put, if you're not on the first floor and maybe your school has 3 to 4 floors, you should be able to have that latch, kick that window out, pull that tube down, and have the children slide out the tube in any type of mass shooting. So man, I'm late too, sis. Don't worry about it. I ain't getting here until about 10 minutes. And my computer was acting crazy. So ain't nobody late. If anybody late, I'm the late one. Um, so I believe that's a solution. Being able to put a window where you can literally got a yellow thing on it. You pull it down. The teacher is able to kick that window out, uh, and then release or have a tube or some where they can release that tube and the kids can slide down that tube um, and get out the school that way. Because I believe that the playing like you sleep don't work no more. These mass shootings, they didn't got wind of that. So I believe you need to implement another strategy when it comes to these kids. Oh, what's going on, Stardust? I've been subscribed to you for a minute. I like your channel. Hey, anybody that's in here, man, subscribe to Sky Dust. She has a real good channel. The Pimp 1984, my sister. Subscribe to her channel. What's up, Koi? But we're talking about protecting our future. I have two in school. I have a middle school, and I have an elementary school child. My daughter's in elementary. My son is in middle school. So, you know, like I tell my kids, don't play like you sleep. If you hear gunfire, get out that school. I don't believe in playing sleep no more, getting caught on to that. So that's what I tell mine personally. If you just hit that and go. So to me, do y'all really think the playing sleep works these days when it comes to the mass shootings? I don't think so. And maybe that's just me. I don't know. But I don't believe it works anymore when it comes to them. Jamal, come here. So what do y'all think? What's some solutions y'all have came up with maybe some solutions with keeping our children safe? Because they're proving that law enforcement is not going to go in if there is gunfire and save our children. So what do y'all think is the best solution when it comes to our children? And that's just me personally. I believe that the laying down sleep doesn't work anymore. So we got to have an alternative to that. And that's my alternative to that particular situation. So what do you tell your children? I'm curious to know. What do you tell your children? I tell my children to run out that door. Don't wait. If you see an opportunity, take off. Yeah, Stardust, that is a good suggestion. Be involved. You got to be involved, because if you're not involved, then you pretty much screwed. Because I try to be involved with mine for sure. What are some solutions y'all think? I want to hear from y'all. I say with the kids and most parents not being able to be in the school, I tell mine to fight. You don't fight. But like I said, they're proving that law enforcement will not go into schools. Oh shoot! Hold on, y'all. Law enforcement proved that they will not go into schools if they're under fire. So we can't, and there's no disrespect to law enforcement, because I'm gonna tell you firsthand that I did go and try to be a Detroit police officer. So, you know, I have nothing against officers. I wanted to be one. Things turned out a little bit different, so I wasn't able to become an officer, but we have to live in reality. And the reality is they're not coming to put their lives in danger for the children. You know, that's sad to say, but that's reality. So people start living in reality. Yeah. Yeah, now they're talking about one school district, they're putting AR-15s in the school locked up. Do you think that's going to be an issue? Having AR-15s locked up in the school? Has anybody thought about that? So I don't remember what school district is doing that, but it's literally a school district that's going to put AR-15s in the schools. Okay, that's true, Corey. I agree. That's true. That's true. You do still have some good cops, so I'm not going to say everybody won't go. And Corey has a very good point with that. But I'm gonna say this: that shows that could be a future incident. Let me just say that, because some of them just won't do it, but some of them will. Some of them will. Some of them won't. So we're not gonna rule everybody out because of that one incident. Thanks, Coy, for that. And Coy is right. Um, so I don't know, man. It's definitely something we should talk about with the incident. And that's just part of the world we live in right now. It's just part of what we live in. You know. I agree with that, Stardust, but they don't like us, and you could tell by what's going on now in Washington and how they feel about us and us caring. So I do agree. I think that'll prevent a lot of people from going up to schools and thinking that that's an easy target. So I do agree with that. So yeah, we are living in different times. I believe if they're gonna do it, they need to have a secure place, not just a place to lock them up, but almost put like a panic room, like a real small, I don't know, something in the wall to where you dead bolted when you lock them AR-15s up, because now that they announced that, it's gonna be some fools trying to get into schools, trying to take the AR-15s from the school. So you gotta look at all them situations when it come to putting stuff in schools. So you got to think about how they're going to secure these AR-15s. Are y'all just gonna throw them somewhere and then throw them somewhere? Yeah, it's definitely a touchy subject. What's up, Hot Tub? I'm gonna drop this link if anybody. I do have to be to work. I did start late, but I do have to be to work by 3 o'clock. So we're gonna get out of here exactly at 2:30. But if anybody has something to say, anybody wants to say something, I'm gonna drop this link. If you want to jump in with me and you want to talk about it. But what is some solutions y'all think we can come up with protecting our children? I told you mine is pretty much let's put some stuff on the windows where they can get out of certain situations. Then like I said, I'm thinking of, if you ever rode a school bus, in the back of that door, you can only open that door from the inside of the school bus. It has a handle. You pull down on the handle, you kick the door in, and the door flies off the school bus. What's going on, Shayna? Jason, the Ewings are in the building. Thank y'all for coming through. Y'all always come through and support me. Hot Tub Tony. Howard J, what's going on? What's going on, Tactical Tourist? So what do y'all think? My thing is, let's get them out of there. As soon as you hear active shooter, my best thing for me and our children is to get out the building. If you're up on the second, third, fourth, maybe fifth floor, you could possibly go down the stairs and get shot. Our children can get shot. So I prefer they start putting I guess kick windows in each classroom. And what I mean by that is it's going to be a yellow lever that you only can access through the inside of the classroom. You lock your door, you pull that lever down, you kick that window out. And I don't know, maybe on the outside of the window or something, they have a tube tied up. You're able to release that tube to come down to the window, undo that tube. That tube goes down to the ground. They're able to slide through that tube and get up out the building. I believe that is a good way to start. You know, we don't have all the solutions, but I think that's a good way to start. In trying to get our children out of the schools before anything goes wrong. So that's what I think. I don't know if y'all thinking the same thing, but that's something I believe that can be done to me. So what do y'all think? I know we always talk about what could happen, what should happen, but I'm talking about solutions. What are some solutions we can do to make sure our kids get out of schools with a mass shooting? No, here in the inner city, you might have a couple schools with fences around them, but I mean, a lot of parents don't want their child to feel like they're in jail. Stardust. So I don't know. I just figured because a lot of them are not gonna have the high fences. The best thing you can do, pick the two that you want. The best thing you can do to me is let's start putting some stuff around the windows to where they can get out. Get out to school without having to run down the hall to possibly getting running into the mass shooter and getting shot themselves. So I believe, and this is me, that we can at least do that. I don't know. So that's my whole thing on it as far as the school system and trying to find the best way to handle the situation. Which one you want? So man, that link is dropped if y'all want to jump in and kind of talk about what you think could help keep our children safe during a mass shooting. Pick the three that you want. They're just basic Pokemon. Shayna. OG, $2. What's going on? What y'all think, man? Throw some of them comments in the section on what y'all think could be a solution to the problem that's going on to this day about mass shooting. Some solutions you think might help in trying to fight this fight of protecting our children. You know, while we're not there, most of us have to work, so most of us are not able to be at the school during the day. When my son and my daughter was in Headstart, I did have a chance to be at the school basically every day and be an active father while they was in Headstart. So what do y'all think? Jamal, What is some suggestions y'all believe? Yeah, that's a good alternative. Homeschooling, but I don't have the time. I really don't. My wife worked during the day. I don't have the time to do homeschooling. But it is a good idea, y'all. If y'all do, um, homeschooling is uh, a great idea if you can do the homeschooling. What box? Huh? I gotta go upstairs, you know. Give me a second. I'll get there when I'm done. All right. And that's true. You do sign on for it. You do sign up for it. Oh shit! Hold on, Hot Tub. What's up, Hot Tub?
What up? What up, Skillet? What up, everybody?
Oh, there are groups that are working with parents too. Okay.
Man, I said it before, bro. Got fathers around the community, and the these school systems have money, man. So you can pay the parent. You don't even need outside security. Just pay the parents to come in one day a week and alternate parents who are willing to volunteer and, compensate them for that day and have them patrol the schools.
Yeah, that's true. Cause I don't work during the day no more. So there's
A lot of parents that may not. They may work nights, so they come in for a couple of hours or something like that. But that also cuts down on behavior issues as well, because when you have parents in the school, whether they be the parents of those particular kids or not, just especially a father. When you get the fathers in there and engaged in the school, and children, then you start to see the behavior issues go down. Number one, and it's a deterrent for people running up into the schools. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that and Hot Tub is absolutely right about that because as a father that actually put his children through Headstart and with Headstart, it was a government funded program, so parents had to put in so much time to match them dollars. So if it's just being in a classroom, if it's just taking some stuff home for the teachers to cut or prepare, because I draw, so a lot of my stuff was if they needed something, cut it out. If they needed anything they needed, if it was to take home, that was time that was put towards them dollars. And being in that school, man, and them kids, man, they love me to death, and I definitely enjoyed myself as a father, and I had a good time with them children. But like Hot Tub said, most of them, when I'm in that classroom, them teachers didn't have that problem out of them kids.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have not a people problem out them kids when I was sitting in that classroom.
They got a program out here where I'm at where they so short a substitute teacher to ask the parents to step in. I signed up for it, and I haven't called yet because ain't nobody been absent. The teacher had to be absent yet, but they have programs like that. I know through the state of Georgia they have in the other states. If you don't do nothing but sign up for that, if you can go in there on a day, cool. If you can't go in there, just pass it on to somebody else. But
yeah, pass the information, to somebody else.
Just get back in. We got to get back to a point where we back into the classrooms, because what happened during the pandemic, I know out here where I'm at, is they took the parents completely out. You could not go into the school. You couldn't check kids or nothing.
Oh, you couldn't. That was doing the same thing here. You couldn't even, like when I was picking my daughter up from school because she got sick a couple times. The security guard wouldn't even let you in.
Mm-hmm.
You would have to sign a board outside the school. They wouldn't let you come in and sign a board.
So that creates a problem, because me and my wife, we the type of parents, we go into the school.
Right.
What's going on with my child? If I'm noticing behavior issues at home, and he ain't acting like that at home before, I'm coming straight to school saying what's going on with my child. But see, they've taken us out for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So now, pretty much out here, the only way to get back in there is you do that substitute role.
Okay.
So I'm taking full advantage of it. My wife's gonna take advantage of it, and we'll just alternate. Hey, anytime y'all need somebody, we can go in there. Now they set it up to where you can do your own child's class if that's all you want to do. But I don't have no problem teaching nobody other folks' kids either.
Right, right.
But just that presence of a parent in there.
And you'll be surprised how these kids want somebody like a father to be in the classroom.
They do.
It's crazy. And if you ain't never did it, then you don't know what I'm talking about. But if you did it, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. But it's amazing how many kids that when I first got in there was almost like, and then you could tell kind of who comes from a broken home and who doesn't. I mean, you can kind of tell. And they're begging for somebody to come in and just say, "Hey, what's going on? How you doing today?"
Hey,
you know, and they would call me Jamal. Jamal's dad's here. They knew me by name. They identified me, and they loved when I was in the classroom.
Most of these kids just want structure, man. A lot of the behavior issues because they don't get that structure and they don't get that attention at home for whatever reason. Parents working, or they got some household problem, whatever the reason. But it's lacking in that. And whenever they can get that back in there, them kids, they love it, man. So, you know, I'm real passionate about working with the children because we can steer the course of how we going as a society if we just focus on the children. God damn, Skilly, you just put me on the spot. Skilly, you still there? I don't know what happened with Skilly. So if anybody knows what's going on with Skilly, just let me know. I didn't know I was still up here.
Well, I'm in here with you now, bro.
Man, okay. My computer acting crazy, bro.
He couldn't let me know what I was.
Duh, you was frozen. You know, my junk like StreamYard and froze on me. I'm like, what the? Oh my god.
Pip, you saved me because I didn't know I was out there by myself. I got nervous.
I was trying to get in.
My bad, hot tub. What's going on, sis?
Oh, nothing. What's going on, y'all?
Pip, what's that?
Nothing much. You know, being a case manager, we've been talking about this topic even way before all the mass shootings. Because I guess a lot of people forget back in the 90s, we had a couple mass shootings before, which is why Chicago took the stand where we're going to have metal detectors. We're going to have, you know, security guards of that nature inside the schools. Now, I know Chicago reckless, but one thing I can say, we haven't had any mass shootings in the schools. You know, so, and like you said, Hot Boy, like we have to get back to being engaged in the classroom with the teachers and things of that nature. Because when I was growing up, best believe my people knew the teachers knew them. Hell, I grew up, I was the last of the generation who the principal could still go grab that paddle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then you still got your ass when you got back home. You know, like you said, the structure, the foundation has definitely cracked, and we need to do something to get back together. As far as the police goes, I was just so baffled about the lack of urgency that they wouldn't take. You know, it's kids in there, it's children in there. Like they was arresting parents who was trying to break up in there.
But you know what, though, Phil? I'm not surprised because the police departments have been hiring a certain type of individual for about the last 20 or 30 years.
Yeah.
And admittedly, they've admitted this. They've had numerous reports about it, how they're even concerned about the quality of people that they're hiring.
Yeah, you're right.
You hiring people who just trying to come on to abuse their authority.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're not there and I tell a lot of people, and I went for the Detroit Police Department. I just didn't get to the academy. I got all the way up to the next point was being able to get into the academy. But I always wanted to be a police officer. So when that time came to where you didn't have to pay to take the written or the physical, that was my cue to get in and maybe become a police officer and do something a little different. So it wasn't that I wanted, it was just something to get a paycheck, but I always wanted to be a cop since I was a kid. And when that opportunity came, I shot for it. Unfortunately, I didn't get as far as I wanted to. And shout out to my cousin. I ain't gonna say what city or state he's in, but at the same time I was doing DPD, he went for another police department. He ended up becoming a police officer in that state. So we was doing it at the same time. So yeah.
One thing that we done got away from is you got to do community police.
Yeah.
Yes.
When I say that, if
Yes.
the police don't come out of that community,
They don't
care.
they don't need police that community.
No, they don't. It's nothing.
I've seen this out here. We got Asian communities out here. We got Hispanic communities out here. We got Africans out here. But what I've noticed is that each one of those communities, police force looks like them. That means
absolutely
you could have an outsider come in and police them, but his partner better be out of that community, because if not, they won't even let him in the community.
Yep. Same in Chicago. Yep.
So
Yep, in Chicago, you got to live in the inner city in order to be a Chicago police PD.
I go one step further than that. You need to be in that community.
You need, absolutely. Yes.
And they well, who want to stay there? The police don't want to stay in the hood. Well, good. Neither do we.
Exactly.
That's exactly. Improve it.
Yep. And recently, an alderman just got in trouble for that because, as an alderman, you have to live in that community.
Mm-hmm.
And they found out she was in the suburbs, but she had a house there.
She was using that house. Yeah, they do that too.
And that's what I mean. You just here to get a paycheck. I told an alderman one time during election time, I'm like, why would I vote for you? I don't see you until election time.
Exactly.
I don't respect nobody who put their pictures and stuff on abandoned buildings that's been here for 10 years. We've been asking y'all to remove them because people have been getting raped in there. They selling drugs out of there, but you're going to put your face on there when it's time to election time? No, ma'am. No, you will not get my vote. So sorry.
No, you
should.
If they're not bringing tangible things to your community, economic resources, stuff like that, stuff that the community needs, and dealing with the blights of these abandoned buildings and everything that's attracting the crime. If they're not going to deal with that, then don't vote for them.
Yep, absolutely.
I don't care what party, who they was cool with, what they used to do back in the day, who they marched with. I don't give a damn about none of that. If you can't show me where you've done something for this community, get your ass up out of here.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's real talk.
That's real talk.
And I'm so, like, I don't have kids of my own, but I got nieces and nephews and, god kids. And it's so frustrating that you have to have these conversations with our Black and brown kids that we do. Like, we already got to have a conversation about them when they approach the police. We already got to have a conversation about them, how they act at school. Now we got to have a conversation about, being protected from getting shot at school.
Yeah.
It's like, it's mentally draining for them. I can see that for some of these kids. This is mentally draining.
Go ahead. This shit shouldn't have to be, man. Because they fixed that. Let me tell you something. When I was coming up, there was, like Pimp said, there was school shootings even back in the 90s. This ain't nothing new, but what the steps they took, at least in our community, was they started putting on security up in there, not law enforcement, but just school resource officers.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That work law enforcement, because
what
we see now is that
Mm-hmm.
You having law enforcement come in there, and I'm gonna tell you, the police policy is arrest. It don't matter who did what. They don't care if they get called out. Somebody got to go to jail. You locking kids up for just regular fights. That's something that never was happening before.
Exactly.
You know, that's an issue. So you don't want active duty officers in your school with arresting powers. You need just somebody that just to be that presence to deter stuff.
And a lot of times, only thing you need is to talk to these children.
That's it.
That's it.
It's not.
But make sure, and I'm animate about this. Whatever school you sending these resources officers in, or these security officers, make sure they fit the demographics of them schools that you put them in.
Agreed.
Because that way they'll be less inclined to mistreat the children.
Absolutely. Yep.
I mean, because you got officers slamming kids on the ground, hurting them.
Yeah, that should never happen.
You ain't
a lot of the parents need to get your kids under control. You know your kid bad as hell.
Yeah, that.
So I don't put it all on them.
Oh no,
right.
Out there out of pocket. I don't care if I'm in the school. If your child in there out of pocket,
right, we gonna have a problem.
We're gonna have a problem.
We're gonna have a problem. But that goes back to the community, because if we stayed in the same neighborhood, oh shit, here come Mr. Hot Boy Tony. He gonna tell my mama, or he gonna snatch me up himself.
Oh, I'm gonna snatch them up. They'll tell you.
Yeah, it's no. But kids have no fear, and then they're protected by parents who like, don't touch my kid, don't do this.
Right,
Well,
don't touch
get your kid.
Man, come get him, D.
Come get him.
No, he out here in the streets raising hell.
Right.
Well, see, you got the parent, you got a whole. Everybody don't want to say nothing to them. You got these parents that do quick to do the go off on you. Anytime you say something about their kid, they going off on you. So people less inclined, they be nervous to say something to them. I ain't scared of nothing.
I ain't never nervous.
I'm gonna tell you about your bad age. You better get this little motherfucker.
Yep. Before he get hurt.
Get him before I get him.
Right.
Because you come around
That's
here.
just real talk.
Yeah.
And that all go back to just police your own community, right?
Yeah.
You don't wait for outsiders to come into your community and police it for you, because that shit don't never end right for us.
It never does.
Never
does.
So be that force. If you know they selling dope out the community, hey man, you want to stop. It's enough of y'all in that community. It's more of you than it is of them.
And them. Yeah.
If you know your child, if your child out here gangbanging, you know your child out here gangbanging. You need to check that in your house.
And it's crazy because
what's going on?
Even the gangbangers had respect.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? When I was coming up, like they warned you when something was going to happen. They got their targets. It wasn't no just out here shooting because you just shooting. You know what I'm saying? Like they still walk Miss Rose down the street, hair plucked up with her groceries.
Yeah,
we lost all that.
It was rules back then, Phil.
It was rules and regulations. Yeah.
It was rules.
Old women, kids, all that was off limits.
That was off limits.
Them OGs got locked up in their 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
It left a void right there. So them kids coming up, they know how to gangbang, but they don't know there's rules to everything.
Yep. Because when you cut the head off and the body's still moving, what you expect? Chaos.
You left a vacuum. You left a power vacuum. That's it. You know, I'm not even. I'm gonna say something controversial. I'm not totally opposed to even kids if that's what they into and they gangbanging, as long as you protecting your community, because that's what
they was created for.
If you go back to the origin of a lot of them, that's what they started for.
Yeah, community. Yeah.
If you're honestly protecting your community, I have no issue with you. You walk around, you throw up your look signs and everything. As long as this community, you ain't selling dope on Front Street. You ain't robbing nobody. You ain't robbing the people who ain't in the game with you.
Right.
You know, whatever you push that shit to an area that ain't fucking up our property value, that ain't fucking up our people, you won't have no issues out of me.
You won't have no issues out of me, because that's how we grew up. So.
But when you endanger, like I'm a civilian.
I mean,
you a civilian.
I definitely
when
agree.
You endangering civilians, then it's a problem.
Yeah.
But we gonna have to start standing up. We the people in these communities, we gonna have to stand up, and we gonna have to take back our communities, and we gonna have to take back our schools, because the school system's out of control, the police out of control, and some of the kids out of control. We the parents. If we all out of if your kids out of control, that's our fault. Your community out of control, that's our fault. We got to take that blame for that. So we're going to have to stand up and take it back.
How you doing, Stardust?
Hey, y'all. I just wanted to add on to that. And thank you so much for this live, because it is so appropriate and needs to be discussed.
I appreciate y'all for coming in and showing me love. So, hey.
Thank you. I wanted to add on to what Hot Tub Tony was saying, because I think that's a great idea. But you know what? We need to start. If we're going to allow our youth to protect our communities like that, we need to compensate them in order to keep them from wanting to go sell drugs and
that's a good idea.
People. You know, yeah. I just wanted to put that out there because I thought that was dope that you were saying that. I'm
gonna add something to that. If you live in a community with an HOA,
absolutely.
If you live in a community with an HOA, your HOA fund sitting in the county don't do nothing. You can hire your own. You can hire your own people out the community and compensate them for watching over you.
Yep.
I've been trying to tell my son and them, like, get your friends and start hiring starting your own security firms.
Yeah.
Yes. Which a lot of young men, especially in Chicago, have. Because I know what I've been doing. I've been educating a lot of my young. Because you know what's so crazy? A lot of Black folks really don't realize that they can carry legally. You know, so I've been educating them, like, you know, if you go get your carry and conceal, you wouldn't have these charges. Because a lot of young men that I work with, they got stopped for one thing, but because they had the gun on them, that's the charge that they gave them. And when I told them, see, if you would have took the carry conceal class, they wouldn't have been able to touch you on that. So
and I like the fact that there's that guy felons with firearms.
Yes,
I love him. Dope.
Y'all check him out. I definitely love him. I've told a couple people about his channel.
Yeah. A lot of people don't realize that they can get their rights back.
Yep, absolutely, as they should.
But a lot of people, you probably won't get it the first time, but keep trying.
Right.
That's where a lot of people get discouraged. They do it that first time, like, man, you ain't
going. Skillet, I'm gonna say something, bro. He helped me get mine back. I got mine first too.
That's what's up.
It's just paperwork.
Yeah.
It is.
That's it.
That's why people cop pleas, because they don't want to deal with all the extra stuff instead of just doing the research for themselves.
Yep.
But I tell anybody, the police departments react to crime. They don't prevent crime. Nothing.
They don't prevent crime.
Now I respected them when they used to get out their cars and walk the beat and know the kids in the neighborhood. Like, they don't do that no more.
They don't do it no more.
Community. They don't have no stake in the community.
Nope. That's why when y'all said about they should live there, I agree with that with the teachers too. I think the teachers should live in the community they're teaching in.
Yep.
Y'all know how many teachers come from other states and work in communities?
Yep. In Chicago, you have to live in Chicago in order to be a Chicago teacher. Now that they have a shortage now, so they are accepting other teachers because of the shortage. But before that, you had to live in Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago, they like that with everything pretty much. Because I know at one point in Detroit, in order to be a Detroit cop, you had to live in the inner city, but they don't do that no more. You got them coming from all over Michigan.
It's something that I got to get better at. I do it from time to time, but I need to be more consistent. Is we need to start going to these city council meetings, these school board meetings, and see where your money is going, because you'd be surprised how much money they dump. They take money out of the school systems. The police department. And a lot
find out about them commissioners. Go to them meetings with them commissioners to the president, because they're the ones who handle the funds.
Go to your caps with the police have monthly meetings. You can go to those. Those are open. Get to know your police officers.
When you start doing that and you start seeing how your cities or districts are moving your money around, you may not be aware of or approve of, it'll blow your mind.
It's just about being present. As long as you're not there, they're gonna do what they want to do.
They're gonna do what they want to do.
Yes, ma'am.
If you got enough people coming to the meetings and stuff, and like I said, that's even with Headstart, but they didn't cut a lot of Headstart out. But when my son was going, if you don't spend a amount of money, the next year they'll knock your funds down.
But you can get that Headstart back. Go to school board meeting. All you got to do is when they open the floor to everybody. You put that proposal on the floor, and it has to be voted on.
But you have to have self-control, because they will throw a parent out of them meetings in a minute.
You can't come talking crazy.
Can't get up there talking crazy.
P2P,
and y'all know they expect that out of us
anyway.
Okay. You better put on every mask you can that day when you go up there. Okay, put several of them on, so you can take that mask on and put the parent mask on, put the community mask on, put the daddy mask on, whatever mask you got to put on. Better wear them all, because boy, don't let them see you sweat. That's what they want.
Stand firm, and we got to stand firm. We need to check ourselves. We have to come together and stand firm with each other,
because we don't got no code.
Matter.
We don't got no code.
I disagree. We do have a code. We've had a code. We've had a code for over 400 years. We have always operated under a code.
Well, we need to get back to it, Hot Tub Tony.
We got away from it.
We got to get back to it.
Kingdom Defense, what's going on? New York.
We definitely got to get back to it. For sure.
You know, us as parents,
what's going on today?
What up, y'all?
What's poppin'? Erica?
Chilling. How you feel?
Hey, everybody. Billy, y'all get y'all rant in, because I'm out of here in about 10 more minutes. The brother got to go to work.
And Billy, y'all show start too, right?
I did come on late. I got here about 1:05. Tried to get my computer up.
Man, it was 1:30. Get out of here.
I know, but I had trouble with my computer between 105 and 130. I'm like, dude, this motherfucker ain't never did this. What is going on with this computer? So I'm sorry, y'all. I did start late. I do apologize. I meant to get on here and get on time, but things happen.
That's all right.
Better
We
late.
happy to see you.
Right. And it's the
Erica
conversation we
said,
need to have.
Skilly done left hot tub on the thing alone.
Yeah, I didn't even know I was up there by myself. I looked.
My computer did a glitch. I'm like, what? It knocked me out of StreamYard. Talking about the
Hey
StreamYard.
man, I didn't even realize I was up there by myself. I'm like,
Hot tub said, I kind of like the feel of this.
no, I don't. Hey, man, y'all know I don't like being on camera. I come on camera for my peoples. But I'm not a type person, bro. That ain't me.
True that.
I leave that to y'all. Other personalities, man.
Yeah,
Yo, what up to everybody in the chat?
Sometime. So I might do this next week, a part 2, because I did start off kind of late.
Yeah,
But,
for sure.
My proposal really with the mass shooting thing is maybe getting some things in place to where our children can get out to school, rather than almost being like a trapped house.
Something. Yeah.
Because my thing is, the police is not gonna. A couple of them, if you really think about it, let's be realistic. A couple of them are gonna get shot.
Mm-hmm.
But
and
if you can lock that door, hit that latch on that window, kick that window out, it'll be a lot more kids not dying.
Yeah.
Go. So that's what I propose. If you almost if you ever been inside a bus, that back door, you hit that latch, you kick that back door in, kids run. That's the same concept, kind of with a window. If it's 1 or 2 windows in that classroom, and if you up on the 2nd, 3rd, 4th floor, that's if you ever seen somebody paint or redo a building, they have them tubes that come down that goes into
you
the
can slide down.
Have children sliding those. So that's my solution when it comes to mass shootings. A way to get them out of that school.
Immediate.
Another thing we got to address though is a lot of these schools now have locked doors. They all got locked doors. You have to be buzzed into a school, okay? So how they getting into school?
That's true.
Like
too.
you say, having them parents up in the school will really help out because you got more eyes and people watching. Because when I used to work in the schools, it's plenty of times where our doors weren't shut. And I'm like, ain't nobody grown enough to even think to make sure that they shut the door before they left the building,
Wow.
Yeah, so you got to be aware of how they even getting into school.
Yeah. And that's just human error right there. A lot of these women in the office and men in the office, they just lazy feet. They'll buzz anybody in.
Yeah. But see, my what I like about and I haven't been to my son. Now you can walk in my son's middle school. I believe you can. I'm not 100%, but I believe you can walk in his school. But my daughter's elementary school, which is literally right around the corner from my house, you have to be buzzed in, and they're going to ask who you're coming in for. But
ID
said that don't mean you're actually coming in, because you can during the wintertime, everybody got on the coat here in Michigan. You can go up under that and just go in school and have a good time. But it goes back to me. Let's put something in place to where they can get out that rabbit hole. That's all. Because it's not even a locked door. It's not going to be 100% secure.
No,
that's the point of me saying that. Do like Billy doing. Billy put me on to some resources for homeschooling, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm really considering that with my middle son. Now my youngest, he does better in an environment with other kids, but my middle son, he better. And if you have that opportunity and you can do that homeschooling, by all means take advantage of it, because too often
you can.
We be using these schools. Let's be honest with a lot of these parents use the school as a babysitter.
Yep, absolutely.
Yep.
I would tell you this: even with the pandemic and my son and my daughter being home, the some of the kids was getting on my goddamn nerves. I ain't gonna lie. I hear the teachers, "Hey, sit down. Hey, put that toy away." I'm like, where the hell are parents at? I mean, the parents in the background cussing, listening to all type. I'm like,
smoking a blunt, drinking some Hennessy. Like, are y'all serious right now?
Hey man, you'd be surprised how many times I seen naked mamas come on the screen during homeschool.
Yes.
That's sad.
Yes.
All time.
Yes. But I will say, because of the pandemic and doing the homeschool, they found a lot of kids who was being molested and everything. It was an incident here in Chicago where this boy was raping his cousin, and he thought the camera was off.
Oh,
And the teacher spotted that. It's crazy. That's why a lot of kids rather go to school than be at home. You know, it's a place for school is a place for them to eat.
It's a safe place.
You know, and now that this is not becoming safe anymore, what are our kids supposed to do now? We're
gonna have to take it back. We're gonna have to get back to figuring it out.
Yeah.
And sometimes if you got that baby daddy, you may not like him, but y'all might need to rock that shit out together. Because
yes. Yep.
Yeah, because if you can find a group of parents,
even better.
While you working, because there are a lot of parents that got groups now. Because there are parents who work and they still want their children to be homeschooled. But you gotta, find trustworthy groups because you just don't know who you know what I'm saying? Anything a chance you're taking. So
yeah, a lot of the homeschooling kids in this community go to the library, and it's and it's weird because they don't do it for that. They do it for the free Wi-Fi, but it's still encompassing.
Hey, they somewhere safe, and they doing something instead of robbing somebody or stealing or doing something crazy.
Yeah.
We're in the perfect time right now because if you got the resources to do it, you could become your own homeschool right now.
Now, do y'all remember when
your own curriculum?
Y'all remember when what's his name was in there? He was trying to do it where the parents was gonna get paid to stay home and homeschool their kids. Do y'all remember that?
And people voted that down.
Yep. Well, he ain't in office no more.
Well,
they made sure.
That's true.
To not let that go in the favor of what it could have been.
Because at the end of the day, school is $1 billion business in itself.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
That's why they have in-school suspension and everything. Parents don't have to be accountable for their kids if they act up in school anymore, because the more kids you have in school, the more money they get, because it's all about the funds. As long as they're present, that body in that chair, they're gonna get that money. That's why I kept trying to tell parents back before I left the school system. I used to tell my parents, y'all need to get together and organize just 1 or 2 days where y'all kept y'all kids home. And make them pay attention to you, because 2-3 days with your kid, no kids from school, or even if more than half the kids stayed home from school, do you realize how much that would make them stand up and pay attention to what they need to do in order to hear the parents? Because that's
you know what?
They money.
A big part of it is a lot of parents can't keep up with the actual schooling, and it be for 3rd graders, 4th graders, and the parents.
I was stupid. He gonna open up a drip sauce school.
Hey, you know what? That's not a bad idea, OG. That's not a bad idea. You teaching teaching them how to be business owners.
Yeah, exactly that.
That's not bad at all.
No.
What was that class that we used to take in 7th grade? It was like home ec. Yeah.
That's too much like Shoot, they used to have wood shop. They used to have
wood shop. I had mechanics. That's how I know how to change a tire.
They had all that stuff. They had the nursing. They had cosmetology. Man, they don't have none of them. Well, some of these schools down here, though, in Florida, and because I'm in the rural area now, they got that stuff out here. They even teach these kids the gardening.
We actually had a class that did daycare, so the kids that the girls that was pregnant, they can bring their kids there. So the kids are learning how to be daycare providers, and they have somebody so they can go to school. You could even do that.
Do y'all realize that in the Philippines, they only go to school from kindergarten through 8th grade?
Yep.
They hit 8th grade. Their high schooling is basically a vocation.
Yep.
So they let the kids choose what route you want to go. Do you want to go nurse? You want to go auto mechanic? You want to go this? You want to go that? And their whole high school years are geared towards that profession that they chose.
Hey, CarbonQ.
What's up, Carbon?
What's up, Carbon?
You know what? Isn't it? Is it Switzerland or one of them over there that they got like the highest rate and their kids only go to school for like half days?
I don't know which country.
Because they promote family time as well. Even at work
over there, they
get like a 3-hour lunch so they can come home, be with their kids, this and that, and then
they don't get homework. They don't even get homework. And they're like the top leading country as far as education goes.
I have read that.
Like the Netherlands or Switzerland, one of them.
The model of schooling that we got right now does not work anymore.
It does not work. I'm about to say it.
Yeah.
And it's the only system, if you pay attention to basically all the major systems in this country, that has not changed.
Nope.
Well, we know because it's by design. It's by design.
That pipeline is real. That's why I left, because I felt like I was contributing to the delinquency of our future, and I couldn't be a part of that no more.
But it's the reason why all your nurses on the West Coast now are starting to be Filipinos. It's the reason why all your tech people are Indians.
Yeah.
Their is geared towards that. And instead of America saying, hey, we could take that same model and employ our own people, they rather go out and get other people, other countries that do that. But you control your school boards. We can actually demand that from the schools, that they add these programs. The funds are there. The federal government gives them. Start that. You tell me if I'm lying. The federal government gives them funds for that, and these school boards are siphoning it off to other projects that they deem important. That's because we don't show up to the meetings to say that's not what you're gonna do.
I used to sit on my community town council, my little neighborhood. My neighborhood town council. Oh, and they got mad at me because I ain't stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I'm like, I'm gonna let y'all do what y'all gonna do, but I'm gonna sit here comfy in my seat. I'm with you.
And one thing I did do, my last year, I think my daughter was in Headstart. I became the president over the parent committee. I was the first black male to become president.
Come on.
Okay, you better.
Yes.
That's dope.
And we need our daddies.
Yes.
We need y'all present. Yes.
I'm telling y'all, we need y'all black males in them schools.
Yes, we do.
So bad.
Yes.
So bad. When them kids, like y'all was saying, when the kids see y'all daddies in there, they love it.
Yes, they do. Man, they love me. Them kids love. Your dad, Jamal's dad's here. So I enjoyed myself. I had a good time through them 3 years. I was on the first year I didn't do it. Second year I joined the committee, and then the third year I became the first black male president.
That's awesome.
That's it too. Yes. Now, are you still involved?
No, they haven't. That particular Headstart they done took out, and only Headstart they got is downtown Detroit. So when I get some time, I am gonna go back and start volunteering again. But I loved it. We had one guy. He was part of the fatherhood, and he encouraged fathers to come in, volunteer their time. We had T-ball with dad. We had a bunch of events with the fathers because in that particular Headstart program, they felt that fathers were very important, and they included us in a couple events during the year. So I had a good time. I had a ball.
Y'all definitely are important.
Yeah, y'all know how they have school field days in school, right? Like at the end of the year, all they test and everything.
Yeah, we still have that.
And we should start doing in our own communities. Remember how we used to do obstacle courses and stuff like that? That's tactical
block parties.
Children right there, and it's something you're making it fun for them, but they learning a skill. And just imagine if more dads and moms got involved in doing that in their communities too, because then that's something also you keeping your kids off the street and you keeping them active. Like we don't have our own recreation centers anymore.
Yep, something to look forward to.
Yeah, we got to make our own recreation centers now.
Yep.
Now, something that I be running into when I be mentoring these children is your mamas got the power down. Now, if you ask these in these kids' lives and help you out, you can't then turn around and be like, you ain't talking to my kid like that. Sometimes your kid need to be talking like that.
And that's just the truth.
Sometimes you need that firm hand discipline. I ain't even talking about whooping them.
Right.
But just that male presence over you that when we exude, that kid need that. You can't go into mommy mode when you get that and it'll be like, if you ask for help, just to help now. If you don't want to help,
don't take what you want to pick it up, what you want to pick up, and then be like,
exactly, Skilly.
No, Carbon, I'm gonna look for that video. So. Yeah, that question that you.
Yeah, I saw that video, Carbon. And so, being that what Carbon showed, there are immediate options to protecting your child. You might not be able to protect the entire school, but protecting your child, training your child to do certain things in an emergency. What do y'all think is something? I'm not talking about waiting for no budget to clear on something, spending money, getting the council sitting in on nothing. I'm talking about like tomorrow morning that you could send your kids to school to let them have a better chance of surviving a situation. Is there, anything that the schools can do immediate? Or even as a parent? Because a lot of the talk comes from it's going to take time, a lot of it. But we don't know when the fuck.
Really with that, I'm going to let everybody answer Billy's question, and then I'm going to get up out of here because I got to run to work. But I'm going to start. Go ahead, Pimp.
I know definitely the backpack thing. I've been researching that for my nieces and nephews. I know it's sad, but we gotta arm our kids up with the book bags or something. I don't be more aware. I always tell them, be aware of your surroundings.
Yeah.
When you get that little feeling on the back of your neck, trust that feeling. And if you got to go hide, go run, find an escape route, because kids know how to get out the building.
They don't have to.
They know how to get out the building. Get the hell up out the building, and we'll deal with the consequences later. I'll deal with your teachers and them later.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead, Hot Tub, Tony.
I'm coming, Grandma.
As far as something immediate, hell, just let the parents back in.
Yeah.
Let the parents take the more active role in these schools, and I think that'll be a big enough deterrent for a lot of these situations. Because when you do have, especially males in there that are willing to throw hands with somebody that run up in there, that's on some ass shooting type shit, that'll deter all of that immediately.
I agree with that. And
yeah.
Go ahead, Billy. Because I started this, I'm gonna let you go last since you're my special guest.
That's CarbonQ.
Well, my thoughts is to be able to let your kid know that it's okay to run and coach them on different ways to get out of that building as fast as possible. A lot of times they're going to be drawn in by a teacher saying, come here, cuddle in, or let's all get in this corner. And you got to build the confidence in your own children to say, I'm out of here. Scatter. It's a lot less, it's less chance of them getting hurt. Spread it out, scatter out, and forget. Like you said, we'll deal with that tomorrow. He's safe today.
Absolutely.
We'll deal with whatever happens tomorrow. He get in trouble or whatever. It is what it is.
All right, go ahead, Stardust.
I was gonna say too. And this kind of kind of opposite of what y'all just said. I was gonna say we need to teach our children to follow the instructions when the teacher's telling them during that. Now, see, I only say that because when I was still working in the school system and they started giving us the training on these, what they're doing, these active shooters and drills and stuff. I can't remember the acronym for it now, but they'll teach you like, hey, if that child ain't listening and all rest of the kids listening, leave that child behind. Because your job is to protect those children. But if you got 30 children and 2 of them ain't listening, or we taught to leave them behind. You know what I mean? Because they at that flight thing like y'all talking about. But if you have a child that's not, you can't try to. It's kind of sad that they say it that way, but they're saying it like you can't try to save those 2 and sacrifice
risk everybody.
Yeah. So when they're telling that child, come this way, we escaping. They should listen.
Now, if y'all have an actual escape route, I'm cool with that. But just to go in a room and be all just in one group,
no,
in the classroom,
they don't teach us to do that no more. At least they didn't in the Cincinnati school system when I was there a few years ago.
Because I know with that shooting in Texas, the guy said for them to lay down, and that was my biggest thing. The laying down no more. The active shooters are not falling for that no more.
Right, because he went straight in there and just started busting.
So them days are over with. I tell mine, like you said, if you feel something going on, if that don't
get
go
up through,
whatever, I'll deal with them later. But that's what I told you to do.
Well, and ain't nothing wrong with that. So
we'll deal
I feel like they got to learn how to get up out of there the best way they can.
Yeah, and that's why I say a lot of times if you're gonna lock that door, let's have that window with that yellow handle on.
So you can get up out of there.
Pop that window and y'all just fly, till y'all get away from the school. But that's, for the future time. But that's just my thing. Let's start putting some stuff in place to where if it becomes, as I would say, a death trap, find ways to get them up out of there. And sometimes going down the stairs, detriment to you getting hurt.
Trouble over.
You can lock the door and hit that window, get that tubing down there. Y'all all by the time you get in that room, y'all gone. Y'all running across the field.
And somebody said in the chat earlier, that they could do those like they have on the side of the airplane. So you could have the kind that just roll up.
The blow up
Nobody
joints.
got to know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Until it's that time to bust open and put the air in it and
True.
right on out. Like they can do it.
Yeah.
They can.
Yeah.
It's about choice.
And we can have that within every classroom if we stop spending so much money on these damn football teams and BS like that.
Preach.
It's just unfair. It's unfair and it's not worth the survival of hundreds of children.
Now I love me some football and basketball, but I agree.
Entertainment anyway.
Okay, you want to sit at the chair, grandma, so I can put your shoes on?
They being somebody else's entertainment anyway.
Yeah.
That's true.
With that being said, I want to thank my panel, Hot Tub, Tony, Stardust, Pimp, and Billy. Billy will be on later on with his wife. They are coming on Sundays now. Billy, what time are y'all coming on?
4 o'clock Eastern time.
Okay.
So
definitely check them
about an
out.
hour and a half.
So subscribe to everybody that's on here. It's Hot Tub ain't got no YouTube, so
I know.
Get together, Hot Tub.
we want him to get one so bad, but he ain't into it. So, but that's still the big homie. We still gonna support him regardless.
We still
but
love
everybody else on the panel does have a YouTube page. Definitely check them out. Go support them. $2 with his drip sauce. Go support him.
Do that.
You know, anybody with merchandise.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Just real quick.
Go ahead.
In regards to Hot Tub Tony, what you said earlier about they need to let the parents back in, fuck that shit. Show up anyway. Stand outside the school grounds on the sidewalk.
Sure.
How about that?
Right, sister. Yep.
Sure.
Much love.
I agree with that 100%.
Yep.
Don't wait. For those who can do it today.
Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely check out CarbonQ, Prepper 101 Ghetto. Let me check out some names.
Shannon, Jason got a page now.
And if y'all
they in it to win it.
links in it. Okay, look, Carbon putting links in. Good.
Okay. Thank you, Carbon.
Erica with MyFlyFamily. She got one Ghetto. I think Miss Ghetto got one, but I don't think she active on it.
Don't forget about nephew. Alex back there.
Yeah, the young gunner.
Young gunner.
Alex, young gunner.
Like how Skilly said that you and my mama going live. What about me?
Oh, damn, Skilly.
Hey, don't forget Alex, young gunner, man.
Damn.
Definitely.
His daddy child. That is for sure. Okay? Y'all created a beast, and it's a beautiful thing.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. I'm out of here. I don't want to talk too much. I want to thank my panel for coming. We are going to have a second because I kind of screwed up today, and ain't nobody fault but mine. I kind of screwed up, but we're gonna do a part 2 next Sunday.
True that.
The conversation was real good, and I appreciate everybody coming on the panel, having some positive things to say.
Have a good one. I'll see you in a minute. My
All right, Billy.
I'll be there,
brother.
All right, y'all.
All right, y'all.
Peace, y'all.
Peace, y'all.